So Ollie just told me I'm allowed to do Ricky's barn right now, and that's it. No more videos until he says so. So we got to do Ricky's barn first. So everybody's had a pretty good run, you know, truthfully speaking. I know it's funny because when Kevin started with us, we had people saying, geez, you know, Kevin went 0 for whatever. You know, maybe he's lost his luster. You know, these are the things that people think about. You know, it's a transition. You know, you have some aged horses that you have racing in the summer. It's not easy. Sure, it'd be great to jump in and just start winning right away. But Kevin didn't do it. Ricky didn't do it either. But Ricky's doing a great job. There's a guy that works really, really hard on these horses to make sure that they're ready to go and that they're sound. I'll give Ricky a little tip of the hat. Boston Glide has never looked sounder in his life than he looks right now. And I talked to one of our clients this morning about it and said, you know, I think Boston might be a little bit tired, but he's never looked sounder than he has right now. I'm talking about Ricky's barn, buddy. So Boston Glide has never looked good. So Ricky's done a great job with that colt so far. Our Vica, we're talking about our Vica. Obviously, we trained her down, got her ready to go, turned her out, brought her back, and Ricky's got her looking really, really good. She raced great last week. She raced good her first start, but raced great last week. I think she's got great things ahead of her. She's got some stake racing ahead of her, and she has got a good, why is this thing doing this? A good 3-year-old season coming also. So Ricky's done a great job with her Vic, and she raced great this week. Just got beat in 59 last quarter and 29 off half in a minute and a piece. Did everything we'd asked. Yeah, I would have loved to see her put them away, but not the end of the world. I was very, very happy with what I saw from our Vica. Autumn Wings falls into the turnout place. We turned her back out, talked to our clients, and said, listen, I can keep going with her. We schooled her in 59. We qualified her in 2 minutes. She's not comfortable. But I can tell you what, the first training trip back when I went a first fast mile with her, she's never looked better. She looked awesome, and then got a little bit sore, a little bit sore, a little bit sore. Not lame, just uncomfortable. And the only thing the vet saw when we floor scoped her way back when was her stifles were still wide open. Ollie, how am I going to talk if you're singing? Oh, I see. So Autumn Wings, I think her stifles just got a little sore as we got trained her again. And we turned her out. It was the right thing to do. I think this filly's got the world in front of her, and a very, very nice filly. So Autumn Wings, we'll talk about her again. Well, I guess we don't have to talk much about her. She's turned out right now. So she's off Ricky's barn out of the turnout. Boston Glide, I just talked about him. Finished 6th the other day at Mohawk. Trotted in 57 last quarter and 29. What I'd like to do, as I discussed with one of our clients Sunday morning, this morning, was turning him out, bringing him back, and trying him without hobbles on. I think he looks tremendous right now and has never looked sounder. So that's what I would personally like to do. I know a couple of the other clients were leaning toward Oliver. I know a couple of other clients were looking at turning him out or putting him in the Harrisburg sale. I'd rather not sell this horse. I mean, the whole point of going with Boston Glide was to get a good horse, and I think for the people that got involved, they knew from the start that this is a big colt that was going to get better with age, and to cut our losses as they would describe excuse me, to cut our losses as they would describe it at this point, I think is a fool's errand. I think his best racing is in front of him, but that's that, and we're going to try and work something out, hopefully, where we can do as I wanted to, would be turn him out and bring him back in the coming months, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in Boston going forward. Curious Winner, another horse we'll talk about in the turnout. Brought him back. A lot of these horses, we're going to turn them out for about a month, 5 weeks, shorten their turnout, bring them back, race them all winter. And the ones that don't come forward and aren't going to be effective stake horses at 3, we'll simply sell them along the way or race them till somebody claims them or buys them. But effective horses, but if they're not going to be stake horses or effective horses in the classes we need them to be, then there's no point in keeping them around all year. So Curious Winner, I would say, fits into that category. Fast, durable, shows some talent. What he chooses to do with that talent in the coming months will be up to him. We're going to give him a little rest, let him fill out, cool down, bring him back, race him throughout late fall, early winter. If he looks he's going to be a stake horse, we shut him down, bring him back in February for the early starts in early April, I think the 3-year-old starts, something like that. So we will do that. That's a trajectory for a lot of those horses coming back, is to race them throughout the winter, and if they don't pan out, we can move them, and if they do pan out, that's fantastic too. So Curious Winner has turned out also. He'll be on the turnout list we talk about. Dance Hall Babe, I talked about her also in the opening, how my high hopes for her are not dashed at all. We've been very protective of this filly. She's got the hobbles on now. She's in to go Monday at Grand River. Have her on a trajectory for the first big stake race. The next gold for her will be at Flamborough, and then she's got some bigger fish to fry, so to speak, later on in the fall, if she chooses to, which I hope she does. Delcrest Star Angel's getting closer. We've been in 212 with her, looking to train her in between 2.8 and 2.10 tomorrow, Monday morning at Mohawk. Hopefully we'll see how that goes. She's getting it. She's smart now. She's on the track, training good. Struggles a little bit on the half-mile track. She makes some breaks in the turns, but she's a big filly, so that's not that shocking. So we'll go to Mohawk with her and a couple others tomorrow to train them. RV LeBron, another horse. The next two, King of the Ball and RV LeBron, will be her training companions tomorrow at Mohawk. They will all be training around 2.10, 2.8 or 2.10 tomorrow at Mohawk, and we will see how they behave. But so far, all things look good. Now, we've tranquilized King of the Ball a couple of times, just a mild sedative to jog him and train him because he was getting a little hot. We think that that's worked. The other day we didn't give him any, and he was jogged very, very good. So just a matter of keeping his levels down. A little excitable, a little cranky, this horse at times, but his attitudes come around perfectly, and I believe this is the proper way forward for him. Like to go a mile in 2.8 and see him do it right tomorrow. RV LeBron, same thing. Looks like he's trotting good, seems good. We'd like to train him tomorrow. I'd like to get a mile in 2.10 out of him, 2.8, 2.10 again, and do it the right way. He did strike his knee once training down. It did blow up a bit, but we think we've got it under control now. And Ricky and Chris Monroe Sr. have done a good job with him. So he is back on the straight and narrow and getting closer to the races. Sunshine In. I know a lot of people, I apologize. I don't think I gave everybody the proper updates with Sunshine In. She had tied up right before last stake race, and the levels were still just a little too high to race her, but we were able to school her in 2 minutes. James went with her. She looked good, so we're going to race her next week, probably somewhere around the end of the week. I know there's another grassroots coming up, and I know you've probably already done the math and realized she likely can't make it into the grassroots final. At this point, it's not salvaging her 2-year-old year, but trying to bank a little bit of money for our clients, put her away as fresh as we can, let her fill out. That speed and that intelligence is still there, and she's got it. We just got to help her out a little bit. So Sunshine In will be racing sometime towards the end of the week. I think this filly has a lot to offer still, and is going to be a very, very good 3-year-old, but we'll see how she ends up her 2-year-old season. Time All Houdini's ready to go again. He's racing Tuesday at Mohawk. Should be a good day for him. He schooled well, looks good coming in, got over that virus really well. I watched Ricky train him Saturday. He come off the track. He always used to have a little bit of white stuff in his nose, you know, a little just allergy stuff. Come off the track and his nose was clean as a whistle. So I think he's cleaned up really, really well. That time we gave him off really did the trick. So I'm very, very happy to see Time All Houdini back in and ready to go. The Butler did it, another horse that we turned out. My God, he got big, tall. When we brought him back in, he got to be really, really big. So he went through a huge growth spurt down at Paul Kelly's farm when he was training him. Fortunately, he didn't get to race him, but we turned him out. We'll bring him back in. Another horse we'll have ready to go for the winter. Really, no reason not to have him ready to go for the winter. He missed all summer. He only raced that one start, and I think he has got a lot to offer. Moving forward, just not right now. So we're gonna let him finish growing, at least in this growth spurt, bring him back and have him ready to go in the wintertime. Too Far Gone, filly that I purchased a significant share of when I turned her out. Obviously she struggled with some difficulties in the summer. Another filly that went through a growth spurt. She's a giant filly, and she is going to be a big girl when we bring her back. And I got high hopes for this filly, another filly that we're probably going to start racing in the winter. And of all the horses we're going to turn out and bring back in, I think this is one that really excites me a lot. Not just because I own a piece of her, but because she's always shiny, always looks good, always wanted to do her work. And with time off, proper time off, and bringing her back, I think that will give her the opportunity to do her best. We're there, buddy. In 6 minutes, we'll be at Clinton. All right? Is that okay? Good, man. And last but not least in Ricky's barn is Zeppelin B. Zeppelin B had a little bit of an episode. 20 years I've been training horses, and I've never had a horse flip its heart, so to speak. What they call AFib, atrial fibrillation. I've never had that happen. To my knowledge, now I've had horses stop, and maybe they did have an issue, and we just didn't diagnose it properly, and they came back. This horse did flip his heart 2 weeks ago, and the vet looked at him after the next day and said it flipped back. Everything seems fine. Just with the heat, this searing heat we've had all summer, if they have any issues with their electrolytes, sometimes they can have that issue with their heart. So it's just a matter of keeping him hydrated, making sure he's good, and he's in to go Sunday tomorrow. I expect no issues with his heart or anything else on Sunday. He's 5-2 morning line. Sunday's today, actually. What the hell am I talking about? Sunday's today. We'll be going to race Zeppelin B right after Clinton Raceway. I'm going to zip down and go with Zeppelin B tonight and kick off the end of the summer for the kids. Hey Ollie, when do you go back to school?
September 4th.
Do you know when that is?
Yeah.
When?
1 week.
No, it's Tuesday. 2 days from now. Ollie goes back to school in 2 days. So Amy's a little heartbroken. One, Amy, obviously, you know, is pregnant. Then we're going to New Zealand on the 17th. We're there for 12 days, and then we fly back into Lexington to go to the sale for 6 days. So Amy's all heartbroken that she's not going to see the kids for well, 12, better part of 3 weeks. I told her, I said, don't worry, they won't miss us that much. I don't think. Ollie and Ava are pretty easy going, so there won't be any issues there. So that's it for Ricky's barn. Ricky's having a decent run. For those of you out there looking at his numbers, say, why hasn't he won yet? It's just the way it goes. You know, Ollie, it's just the way it goes. Ricky's an incredibly good trainer, knowledgeable person. It's an honor to have him in the barn, same as our other guys. We're bringing on another big trainer in about 2 weeks' time. There'll be a press release. No, 4 weeks' time. There'll be a press release coming out about that in the coming weeks. But we got some big plans for the fall, big plans for TheStable.ca, and obviously, as I said before, none of it is possible without you. So, thank you very much. That is Ricky's barn, and we'll move on to Kevin's barn, Jason's barn, Harry's barn in just a minute. Take care. So I said I was coming back with Harry's barn, Jason's, and Kevin's, but I'm going to give you a quick update of the other barns that we have going, affiliate barns. Andrew's down on horses. Obviously, we brought back Final Answer. We brought back Casanova's Jewel. Those guys were supposed to be turned out. I might race Final Answer once more. I haven't made my mind up, once or twice more. These are both colts that I think are very nice colts, and very excited to hit them back at 3-year-olds. They have left Andrew's care. Obviously, Lawmaker is now back with us in Canada for the foreseeable future. Cruising in Style is with Andrew and racing tremendously well. White Tiger raced his last start in Pennsylvania yesterday. He's coming back for the Wellwood. Then we have the Breeders' Crown, some other stakes with White Tiger. Still heavily staked, our big boy, for the rest of the year. And also Simba has got one start left, I believe, in the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, and then we'll close it down for Simba for the rest of the year, I believe. Just hasn't quite got to that Wellwood or Breeders' Crown level yet, and the last thing we want to do is break his heart and hurt him and hurt his confidence. So this is another colt that I think has got a tremendous 3-year-old year in front of him. So for Andrew's barn, he's down to, geez, he's only going to be down to one horse for us. Oh no, 2, Simba and Cruising in Style for the next little while. I would assume, I don't know where the New York final goes. I don't want to talk about that with Cruising just yet because I have no information other than he raced tremendous the other day. Very excited to see what's going to take place in him. He's obviously headed towards some big things also. So that's Andrew's barn in Pennsylvania. We talked about Andrew's barn real quick, and I'd also like to say Illinois with Angie and Rob. We have Not an Angel and Ivanka. Holden Steady's on his way back to Canada to be turned out. These two fillies obviously headed towards the final, hopefully the final and the consolation. Rob and Angie have done a great job with both of them. the program itself is a little watered down and a little few and far between. I wish they'd condense it to make it a shorter program where more races could be, you know, not more races, but they could be run off continuously. So if I had one from somebody buying, who's interested in potentially buying Illinois standardbreds moving forward, I would like to see a more condensed calendar for the Illinois Stakes until you get some more money in there, which you could start adding on races. It wouldn't be hard to do, but chop that down a little bit. It's hard to race them every 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I think there can be a better way forward for that program, but I'm sure they know that, and probably don't care what I think, but I think they know that and they'll address it. So Not an Angel and Ivanka headed towards a consolation of the final on the Night of Champions in Illinois. Well, I'm heading home. I'm heading to Flamborough right now from Clinton. As you can see, I got my driving suit still on. We had an okay day at Clinton. Hard 8 was a good third, closing third. Buckingham got jammed up, and you know, he had the 7-hole, and I was trying to weave her through, and she just got jammed up. I think she was 6th or 7th, but she's third if I get through. She raced really well also, so I was happy in that regard. So we've already gone through Harry's Burn. We've gone through Ricky's Burn. Now we got Jason's Burn. Jason McGinnis has had one of the hottest burns around all summer. We had a little bit of a break with stake races for some of the horses, and now they're heading into the finals next week. For those of you who don't know, James McDonald, my brother James, will be going to drive the horses in Ohio, as I have White Tiger in the Wellwood that night. So let me give you a quick run through of the horses Jason has in Ohio. So these aren't, well, I guess they are in alphabetical order. Gelona's a mare we bought a few weeks ago, and I didn't tell a whole lot of people about her, and she certainly did all the telling for me. She was second, beat a half a length in 56 the other day. For those of you who are looking for shares in a decent mare, Gelona looks like she's going to do us some good virtually anywhere we race her, where there's competitive classes for her. Just a really handy mare. On her lines, when I first raced her, it looked like she was a front end mare, you know, leave. And then I sat behind her. She races fine from off the pace. Her first start, she was off the pace, and her second start, she was on the front. And I liked her both ways. So for me, really nice trotting mare, no real issues. I'll tell you how much she's liked. The grooms that take care of the horses in Ohio were buying shares of Gelona online. That's how much they liked her. So just a really nice mare. Really happy to have her in the burn. So Gelona is a horse that's also done some good for Jason with a 2nd and a 4th in her first 2 starts. Oh So Pine, I guess, yeah, Oh So Pine is next. We scratched him because he was sick. He had a touch of blood when we trained him heading into his last stake race, so we scratched him. Or we didn't scratch him, we didn't enter him, and we put him on Lasix. And we qualified him actually and put him on Lasix. So we skipped the next leg of the Sire Stakes because he could. He's still in the final. Trained him the other day. Still a few little flecks of blood in him, but trained really good a day when the races weren't going that fast at Scioto. I trained him in 58 and a piece off a half and 1-1. He was very good. So the vet assures me that he'll have him dried up good for the final. James will drive him in the final. Meadowbrook Charlie, many of you don't know, maybe didn't know this or not, but I bought Meadowbrook Charlie back from the connections when he went to Indiana. He did very well for us in the winter last year, and then they wanted to send him, the owners of Swanray the Giant also own Meadowbrook Charlie, so this horse ended up with Brandon Bates also. He didn't have a real good campaign out there, and they wanted to sell him back, so we bought him back quite a bit cheaper than we originally purchased him. Not ideal for them, but the price was right for me, so we bought Meadowbrook Charlie back. There are shares of Meadowbrook Charlie for sale also online. I think I bought them for 12,000 American. Bought them back for 12 American. I think there's shares online of him also. He's going to race in Northfield on Wednesday. Oh, I have to go to Northfield on Wednesday. Ready for the Beach came home. Friggin' Biggin came home. Candy, oh, I skipped over Candy Mac. I apologize. Candy Mac is also going to race this week. I think Jason said a maiden Thursday at Scioto. Now, Candy Mac does have a Buckeye stake left, and that is during Jug Week. I will be in New Zealand, So he can use whoever he wants. Maybe James wants to go drive him maybe James wants to go drive him in Delaware at the Delaware County Fairgrounds for Jug Week. I don't know, but he will be there by all accounts. He'll be there for Jug Week. Real Willie is back home in Ontario with us now, so he's left Jason. See you in Tuscany. Trained well again. I trained him in 55 the same day I trained Oso Pine. He's going to have a short year, but it's going to work out well because the sickness really took a hold of him after his last start. It seemed to zap a lot of the energy out of him. I wasn't super enthused with the way he trained. I was happy. Because he did it right. He wasn't as strong as I'd like to see him. Again, he bled on qualifying day also, but we put him on Lasix, trained him with Oso Pine the other day, not together, but the same day. No blood, zero mucus. So going into the final, he should be healthy as a horse, as they say. Twinsburg, I believe, put up the fastest 2-year-old mile of anybody that we have last week, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Sunshine's Finest went a tick faster at Mohawk. 52 and 3 she paced. They went in 51 flat. She was beat fair and square, 6 lengths or something, or 51 a bit. 6 lengths or something. She paced 52 and 3 last quarter and 28 and 3. So she's going into the Ohio Sires final, sharp as a tack. Should be very, very good in with that bunch, I believe. West 52nd. I didn't get to talk about West 52nd. He's back home with us now. He came back the other day with Real Willie. Like what I saw. I jogged him the other day. Like what I saw. Geez, I'd love to put this colt in the Wellwood. I really think that had he been a little bit better the other day, he wins at 56 in Scioto if I could have been able to steer him. And a mile and 56 in Scioto certainly would have been more than enough to entice us to put him in the Wellwood, as it may not even have been enough to get him into the Ohio Sires final. So we do have, now I'll let you know this. We have an appointment at the veterinarians at 8:30 in the morning on Tuesday for West 52nd. If the veterinarian tells me she's found some things that she can patch up, she can fix, she can help West 52nd, so he's not undrivable on that line. First off, tell me why he's undrivable, why he's getting on the line so hard. I know that his foot was hurting him, but usually there was no lameness though. Zero lameness on the track. So something is causing this horse. If you remember back in the winter, this horse ran in horribly on the right line, wore a roller burr, a Murphy blind, and a bit burr on the left, but then would run out also. And if you watched the other day in Ohio, you know what I'm talking about. This is a colt that trotted in 58-1 with 0 power steering fluid. None. Zilch. He was all over the track. And an extremely fast horse. So I'll tell you this. If I get a favorable recommendation back from the veterinarian before 10:30 on Tuesday morning, I would say there's a small chance that West 52nd may end up in the Wellwood also. This is a colt I have tremendous faith in. I think he's a very, very good horse, but he does need some help. And I can't put my finger on it. This is a veterinarian issue, and we're going to be using one of the sharpest veterinarians I know. Chris does a great job, McMaster does a great job, but I like the way that Dr. Melissa McKee, how she explains it all out. When you guys are done, when we send our horses there, we get a very long email from Melissa McKee, Dr. McKee, explaining what she's found. Very meticulous. Nothing against Dr. Rosenbacher. I don't have any issues with him. I've used him a long time. We've been through a lot, and we're going to continue to use Dr. Rosenbacher. But in cases like this, I just want to have a fresh set of eyes look at this horse. And Melissa had looked at this horse before he went down to Ohio to begin with, so I want to have her look at him again. If there is a favorable diagnosis, if she says, hey, I found this or I found that, and I think we can help him, you may see him in to go in the Wellwood. If she doesn't, he might just race in an overnight. I don't think his racing is done in 2018 yet. It's coming to a close, but it's not done yet. And West 52nd is an incredibly talented horse, and I'd love to see what a straight West 52nd does against any colts in the globe. I mean, I think this colt's a very, very fast colt. So we'll wait and see what Dr. McKee says. I wouldn't be super optimistic about it yet. That's why I've been kind of playing the cards pretty close to my chest with West 52nd, but this was my plan all along, was to get him back here, get him looked at. If we can get some wrinkles out of him, potentially race him in the Wellwood. So West 52nd, I'll call him under Jason's list, but he's not technically there now. He is back with us in Ontario. Last, every time last, and absolutely not least, is Yes. How impressive has this colt been? This colt was mediocre all year training down. Just okay. You guys know what I'm talking about. Run sometimes, lost in the mix, couldn't find them, you know, just okay. Then he bounces out in Ohio and obliterates them. Didn't win everything all year, but never missed the board. I'll tell you how he was even after his time when he won. When he won that stake race, when a bunch made breaks and he get in easy and he won the stake race, I even said to Jason then, I don't want to race him in the Ohio Breeders. Let's just put him in a fair. Let's just get another win under his belt. So, I mean, that's how far this colt has come. I moved him the other day, man, oh man, he was all business. And he's such a nice horse to drive. Just let his hobbles out. When you move him, hit him a swat in the arse, and he is straight ahead. So, Josh Sutton, who drove this horse already once is going to get the call on Yes in the final, and he was pretty ecstatic to get the drive. As you can imagine, watching him go out and win the other... Oliver, watching him go out and win the other day in the Ohio Sires, and then knowing that you got the drive on him... Oliver? Knowing that you got the drive on him in the final of the Ohio Sire Stakes. It's pretty cool. I've been there, I've done that, I know what it feels like. So to be asked to drive a horse, especially a horse coming in as sharp as this horse is coming in. So for me, very excited to see what Yes is going to do, as I'm excited to see what Oso Pine, Twinsburg, and See You in Tuscany will do. We've had a great year in Ohio. We've had a great year overall, and I'm really, really, really happy and excited to see what's going to take place next Saturday in Ohio. So that's Jason's barn. I'll be back in just a moment with Kevin's barn, a little longer barn, and Kevin is doing great also. He's had a great week, had a great day today in Clinton. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Now we're going to go through Kevin's barn. Kevin's had a great run too of late, doing a great job with these horses, as you shouldn't be shocked he would. With the accolades and the resume that Kevin McMaster had. Very, very lucky to have him on board. And as I said, in a few weeks, we got another big trainer coming on board. Well, it's been a while since he trained. We're going to have another big name coming on board, TheStable.ca. So, and I'm not telling you who it is. Don't ask, I'm not telling you. Kevin McMaster's barn. Art Seeker, number one. Art Seeker is really starting to annoy me. Here's the problem with Art Seeker. You can't get away last. Go look at his lines. You get away last, you finish last. You get away last, you finish last. And then the guys jump up and drive them, and they get away last and wonder why they finish last. I just don't understand for the life of me. If you got a horse like him, why don't you just go out of there a little bit looking for a hole? If you get parked, you get parked. But if you already know what's going to happen going out there, if you take the horse back to last, why bother driving him? I just don't understand that. For me, I'm not making fun of anybody. You drive however you want. You know, these guys, there's some real professional drivers that we get driving these horses, and people make mistakes all the time. I make mistakes all the time. But I'd rather give the horse a shot, and I don't feel that Art Seeker had much of a shot last night, and he raced poorly. So, I don't know whether we're going to turn him out, sell him, or what we're going to do with him, but something's got to give with Art Seeker, because it's like one start he races okay, and the next few he's horrible. And it's not okay with me. And I don't particularly like coming on here and taking apart our horses, because I like to stick up for them as much as I like to stick up for our trainers. But Art Seeker makes it extremely difficult to do when he goes out and races with some lackluster races the way he's done. You know how we thought of Art Seeker last year, so you can only imagine why it annoys me so much to speak about him the way he is now. I thought he was a gold colt last year, and he's turned out to be a condition claimer. So very frustrating, but that's life in the fast lane, as they say. So Art Seeker come up with another clunker this week. We'll see if we can't get him back on track soon. Book the Bet is definitely on track. Win. The big train. As I said to everybody, people ask, why don't we race her in the stakes? Why are we putting her in the claimer? We're putting her in make no mistake. Let me be very clear. Book the Bet is the perfect type of horse right now for you guys. It's too expensive to claimer, because if somebody walked in and offered us $26,000 for Book the Bet right now, we'd be forced to sell. So It's too expensive to claim her. Yet every dollar she makes gets her closer to that cap that she doesn't fit in that condition claimer anymore. So every time she makes a dollar, it makes everybody a little less interested in claiming her if they really wanted to. So Book the Bet is the perfect horse for us right now. Put her on the track, win races, very little vet work. You know, she's an easy keeper. Obviously not the stake filly we hoped she'd be, but she's going to bang out decent money exactly where she is. So Book the Bet, winning races, kicking ass and taking names. She's doing very, very good. I'm very happy for the owners of Book the Bet. Very happy for the horse Book the Bet, and happy for Kevin because he works hard on these horses. So that's Book the Bet. Buckingham, just talked about Buckingham in the leading into this video. We raced her in Clinton today. You're gonna look at her line, and I don't know what she was, 6th or 7th, but she's 3rd if I get through. Clinton is an extremely tight, small half-mile track. I did not want to go out of there with her because there was a ton of speed on the inside, and you're literally right in the turn when they let you go. So I didn't want to go blasting out of there with Buckingham on a little track. You know, she puts a step in, you'll end up in the pool in the first turn. They have a public pool in the first turn, and that's where you would have ended up with her. So I just took my time, got away last, tried to fish her through, and no holes. So we ended up 6th or 7th, but she raced very, very good. Dancing at Midland. I drove him the other day. Somebody sent me a message after and said he just kind of raced okay. Pace 56 at Grand River. I mean, I think that's better than okay. I think he could have raced better. But he raced, I thought he raced good. We had the outside, and he didn't really get a great draw. He didn't get a great shot. And he's back in to go Monday in the condition claimer, and I would expect to be very good in there. Very good in there, I would expect. So Dancing at Midland, again, didn't come back the horse we wanted to him this year, but that happens. Doesn't mean you can't make lemonade out of lemons, and we're definitely in the mix to make some lemonade if we keep him in this condition claimer. He'll make good money in there. He'll be a good horse for us all fall and all winter, I think, and we'll have some fun with him. So that's Dancing on my own. Happy holidays. We had to turn her out. Geez, I just been back and forth with a lot of clients on this filly, on this mare, and in a number of fronts. You know, I had talked about maybe breeding her. I don't really know enough about the crosses and whether her breeding would be strong enough. Here's a mare that set the track record in Flamborough that likely won't ever be broken, or it'll be a long time before they break that one. And also she was the second. Well, I thought she was, but she's the second fastest trotter ever in Canada on a half-mile track. So she has some back class, if you will. She's made over 100,000. She got a mark of 54 on a half-mile track. These are things to me, with any sort of breeding behind her, might be enticing for us. Now, there's a number of clients that own her with us that really aren't interested in breeding her, but racing-wise, she's having it really difficult right now. She's struggling with the heat, and this is a filly we gave the winner off because we thought she raced better in the heat. Just one mistake after another with this filly, and just it's not been good. So it's unfortunate, but we had to give her a month off to clean up some of the mucus. She bled a little bit her last start. It's just been a mess with her. So we're doing the best we can to make the best of a bad situation, and I don't know what's going to take place with Happy. But you know, for those people upset about Happy, keep in mind Happy Holiday's been a good mare for us, and I'd like to take care of the best we can. You know, right now she got something bothering her eyes, and it's just a frustrating situation. But hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it and get her back on track of some sort. I mean, at this point, she couldn't be a shell of the horse she was, but to get her back on track would mean a lot. And I'm trying our hardest, and Kevin is trying his hardest to get her back on track, and we'll see if we can't get her sorted over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Master Saver was a little bit sore, kicked him out in a field, and at this field they had a pool also down at Travis Henry's farm. So I asked Travis and Maddie to maybe swim this horse and turn him out, just give him a little rest and relaxation, a little dip in the pool every day to keep his stamina up and keep his exercise up. He had some problems with his feet, were really bothering him, one ankle, just a lot of little stuff. And you have to understand, you know, when your feet start bothering you, you start getting sore in a lot of other places too. I'm sure you understand that. You know, your feet get sore, your back gets sore, things of that nature. It's the same with horses. All these secondary issues start popping up, and realistically, you'll go crazy trying to treat these secondary issues when you really have to take care of the first one, which is the horse's feet. So that's our big boy, but he ain't going anywhere, Master Saver. He's only got maybe 20,000 made, maybe not even close. And again, most of these condition claiming trotters can make up to 50 before it starts being any sort of an issue. So Master Saver is going to come back and have a good fall and winter for us. So I'm almost certain of that. Mo Better's had a pretty good year. He's been in the mix, been a good horse for us. Been a good horse for us all summer, and really like what I see with Mo Better heading into the fall. He's got a couple of stakes left. I think the last grassroots in the semifinals, hopefully the final, hopefully the winner's circle in the final would be great for us. So 3 races left for Mo Better. Pay the Line Blue Chip, second again the other day. The big girl, she keeps pumping money out. She's went from probably one of our worst horses in 2017 to a good little check getter in 2018. And Kevin obviously has her firing on all cylinders. Raced well again last week. I believe she's in with Book the Bet tomorrow. I don't think she can tackle Book the Bet, but hopefully, and I'd settle for another second with her right at this moment. Promise Blue Chip, she's back in to go tomorrow. There's some horses we're going to be putting on the sale board over the next week, and you can be sure she's one of them. Promise Blue Chip, not my favorite. You know, it frustrates me when I see horses not trying and not putting out, and you know, we can have arguments, philosophical arguments about why they don't. But at the end of the day, athletes are athletes, and sure, she has her issues, the same as everybody else does, same as I do or you do. You go to work and I go to work, and a lot of these other horses have issues, and they show up for work every day, and then this filly just doesn't. Very rarely. She at the start of the year, I tolerated it because she was always 1, 2, 3. Now it's not. So she's going to have to take her show on the road, I think, at some point in the very near future. I keep threatening that, and I'll get it done, don't worry. Sally DeVee. Sally DeVee raced good the other day. Very happy with Sally DeVee. She was a closing second to Book the Bet and raced very good doing it. This is a filly that's shown flashes of, I wouldn't say greatness, but shown flashes of talent. And she is a filly that has some issues. Her knees bother her a little bit. She's getting better and better and better and better and better. And I hope, if we can keep her fresh, I hope that this fall and this winter she can do us some good at Mohawk. Stonebridge Hall was claimed last week, as you know. He's gone now. I think we did okay with him. You know, he had some lameness issues that we were working on and didn't really, we got them good enough for him to go out and race huge his last start, and then he was claimed, and now he is, now he's with, I don't even know who claimed him. Now he's with somebody else. So I wish them well with Stonebridge Hall, and I wish the horse well, because he's a really likable horse, and I really liked him. Ollie. Time O'Tulo. Everybody keeps asking me, hey, what's going on with Time O'Tulo? Where's Time O'Tulo? Oliver, why is Time O'Tulo not racing? And I told them, I said, you know, that's Kevin's department. I thought we had Time O'Houdini in next week, so I just assumed Time O'Tulo would be in soon enough. I haven't seen him, so I sent Kevin a message. He said, listen, the horse was a little bit sick. You know, he's got that stake race coming up. I'm going to get him a race next week at Mohawk, and then everything will be fine. Which is fine, I understand that. I completely support his decision to keep him out a week. He's done a great job with him. Now, before I go too far, he also has now, Kevin has Dancing on My Own, who is I never saw her till the other day. There was a gentleman come down, and he drove down with his friend, and they were interested in buying some shares in, Oliver, turn that down. They were interested in buying some shares of Dancing on My Own. I went to look at the filly. Man, oh man, is she filled out nice. She looks unbelievable. She actually looks exactly how we needed her to look with time off. Really, really good job by Tommy Riley at the farm to get this filly looking great, and Kevin really likes her too, so I'm really happy about that. Kevin also has Cash In On Me is down at Kevin's. He looks good also. So Kevin has a couple extra horses too that had come off turnout. So Dewey Ann is also down there, but I think when Kevin gets a couple more horses in, I'm going to take Dewey Ann up to the top barn with me for a little while. We had talked about potentially breeding her also, but she's looking really good. So I'm thinking maybe she'll be better now, because the last time we brought her back, she was a little bit thin. Still didn't have her legs underneath her real good. A lot of times when you see these horses start to put on weight, obviously their stress is lowering. They're getting a little bit sounder, and I think Dewey Ann, third time's a charm. Obviously, she already took a lifetime mark and won. She was getting lame at the end of it. Then we went to bring her back at the start of the summer. She wasn't ready. Turned her back out. Brought her in this time. She's put a ton of weight on and absolutely looks great. I think she looks fantastic. So for me, very, very happy with the job Kevin, Ricky, Harry, and Jason have done. They've done exactly what we probably exceeded our let's be honest. They exceeded our expectations. They exceeded mine. You know, I was worried at the start of the year. You guys probably knew all the concerns. You know, it's too many horses. Are they going to be able to train them down competently? Are they going to be able to run a proper stable? I think we silenced everybody this year, didn't we? 2 horses in the final of the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes for trotters. Toughest jurisdiction on earth. The biggest names of trainers and drivers in Pennsylvania are in Pennsylvania. We had 2 of the 9 were from our burn. So Andrew Harris did a great job for us also. Ohio, we have 4 in the finals, almost 5. 2 in the trots. So keep in mind, they only take the top 8 or 9 points earners. We had 2 in Pennsylvania, we have 2 in Ohio. We have a pacing colt in the final, we have a pacing filly in the final. These are all with horses that we bought for, you know, $20,000 or less. So for me, congratulations to everybody. You've all done a great job. To our clients, thank you very, very much again for having the confidence in investing with us, because we take our job seriously, and I think it's shown up on the track. So I appreciate that, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say, hope to see you again at the sales this fall. We already bought 7 horses. We have 19, unofficially 19 under the umbrella of TheStable.ca already, yearlings. We have the Illinois sale tomorrow. I'll be sending out an email tonight about the Illinois sale, which would be, I guess, kind of stupid thing to say, because you're not going to see you're going to see the email and then see this. But anyway, Sunday night I'm sending out an email about Illinois, and then we have Goshen. Then we have the first big one, our first very big sale. Take this very, very seriously, ladies and gentlemen. We want to have, we want to be a presence in Ohio again next year, and to think that we can do that without buying some horses out of the Ohio Select sale would be naive. To do that, to buy horses out of the Ohio Select sale, we're going to have a few $100,000. So, for those of you out there wondering, hey, maybe I'll buy a horse with Anthony in Ohio, maybe we'll go to the Ohio Select sale, please let me know. The last thing I want to do, last thing I want is to be left hanging. And I would like to have some serious money at our disposal to buy some horses at the Ohio Select. And for those of you out there who are going to be watching, we got something really cool in store for you. We're going to have a whole production for the 3 big sales that we're going to. The Ohio Select, Harrisburg, and of course Lexington. We're going to have a whole production, everything run right through the app, the TheStable.ca app. Download it. We're going to have productions on there. We are going to have real-time purchasing. We're working out all the bugs right now. We're pretty well all the way through it. Real-time purchasing on our app. It'll be run through our site, but it'll be run first through our app. So if you want to buy into a horse, it'll be as easy as it's easier than it's ever been on earth to buy into a horse with TheStable.ca. So, for those of you out there, that's all the burns. I'm going to run through the turnouts in a minute, but for the most part, that's it for this week. And I really, really appreciate your guys' kind comments. And, you know, a lot of people sent us emails after and messages after White Tiger did good and all our horses were racing good. You know, obviously, I think I overdrove Lawmaker a little bit. I didn't do him any justice last night at Woodbine, Mohawk, Perk. I didn't do it without thinking. I think I put the horse, I thought I put him in the right spot, and I put him in a tough spot, and he wasn't ready to tangle with those horses in the way I thought he was. So that's on me. So apologize to the owners of Lawmaker. I'm one of them, but that's the way it goes sometimes in horse racing. The good news is White Tiger race huge, Cruising in Style race huge. Our big horses have really, really, really punched way above their weight class this summer, and I couldn't be more proud of everybody and everything that's taken place this summer. So thank you very much, everybody. For me, for the big Ollie Bear, say bye, Ollie.
Bye.
For me and the big Ollie Bear, we're almost to Flamborough now. I'm going to race Zeppelin B right now in about an hour, and I hope we have some good luck with him too. Take care.